We good? Okay. Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. Thanks everyone for being here today to help us introduce Georgia Tech's new athletics director, Ryan Alpert. We'll go ahead and start with comments from President Dr. Angel Cabrera.
Thank you so much. And thank you all for being here. It's always a good day to be a Yellow Jacket, but today is a very, very special day. Yes, we have two new amazing fans on the front row. So about 3 years ago, I stood in a situation not very different from this, and I made a commitment that we would elevate Georgia Tech athletics to match the excellence of our academics and research enterprise. And that meant that we were ready to do whatever was necessary to compete at the highest level, to attract top talent, and build programs that reflect the ambition and innovation that define Georgia Tech. And I know you didn't come here to hear about academics, but you're going to get a little bit of it because we are incredibly, incredibly proud of what's happening at Georgia Tech. Just last week, we were ranked #1 in the nation among all public universities for value of a degree. Think about it. Not one of the best, the #1 degree in terms of value for students. We're incredibly proud of that. We are attracting some of the very, very best students from the state, from the nation, and some from around the world. We're contributing more than anybody to the prosperity of the state. And on the research side, we're the third largest recipient of federal research funds and the #1 among those without a medical school. And the reason why I'm telling you all that is because if you detect a little bit of competitiveness in my message, Georgia Tech is a very competitive place. And as proud as we are of all those achievements on the academic side, we're equally proud of what we do on the field. And that is our commitment, that everything we do, we want to be among the best. And today we're taking a bold step in that direction. And so I am incredibly proud today to welcome Ryan Alpert, our new Vice President of Director of Athletics to Georgia Tech. It is really a great day for all of us to have you here. Before I say a little bit more about him, I want to highlight that we have also a great contingent from the University of Tennessee with us today. And it means, I know it means the world to Ryan, but it means also much to us. And I'm sorry that your former boss, Danny, couldn't make it. He had some flight issues, but he would have been here also, so much appreciated. I also want to acknowledge our interim athletic director, John Palumbo, who's on vacation today. John has served Georgia Tech extraordinarily well. First as our deputy athletics director, but also when he absolutely didn't hesitate to step up as our interim athletic director over the last few weeks, and he has done an absolutely phenomenal job, and we are forever grateful to him. So now again, as I said, our plan and our objective and our goal and what we work towards is to be competitive at the highest level. And I have to say that our teams are doing that. They're competing and they're winning at the highest levels. Over the past year alone, 14 of our 17 programs earned postseason appearances, with standout performances in football, baseball, volleyball, and basketball, among other achievements. Just as impressive, our student athletes are excelling in the classroom as well. They have a 94% graduation success rate, and they posted a 3.3 GPA. No offense to anybody, but that's a Georgia Tech 3.3 GPA. And that proves that we are not compromising between academics and athletics. We're here to succeed in both. We've also built a dynamic roster of coaches, leaders like Coach Key, like Coach Stoudemire, Coach Blair, Coach Ramsey, many others, and I appreciate the fact that all of our coaches are here with us today, each of them bringing vision and energy to their programs. And we're matching their talent and their momentum with unprecedented investment. We launched a $500 million facilities initiative. We raised a record-setting $78 million in a single year And we secured one of the largest corporate partnerships in institute history with Hyundai. The momentum is real and the foundation is strong. Now we're ready to build on it. Ryan Alpert is one of the most respected leaders in college athletics. He's a member of that new generation of movers and shakers. We're going to do great things in athletics. At Tennessee, he helped lead one of the most impressive growth stories in the country. They grew annual revenue by more than $100 million and oversaw everything from fundraising to sponsorships to marketing and capital projects. During Ryan's tenure at Tennessee, the program saw record-setting performance on and off the field, including historic fundraising and 3 straight SEC All-Sport Championships. But Ryan brings more than results, he brings vision. He helped launch the Neyland Entertainment District, an ambitious reimagining of what game day can be and how athletics can drive economic growth, community connection, and school pride. That kind of thinking, strategic, innovative, purpose-driven, is exactly what we need at Georgia Tech. In our national search, we weren't just looking for an impressive resume, we were looking for someone who understands what makes Georgia Tech special, someone who can help us continue to build an athletics program of national distinction grounded in integrity, in ambition, and in student success. Ryan is that leader. He's a builder, he's a connector, he's a visionary. So we are incredibly excited that he's here, but also that he's joined by his family, his wife Rebecca, and their daughters, Mary, Margaret, and Annie, which I know that you're gonna love the Yellow Jackets. I know they're gonna be our biggest fans. The future of Georgia Tech athletics is bright, and I couldn't be more excited for what's ahead. Please join me in welcoming our new Director of Athletics, Mr. Ryan Alpert.
Good morning.
Morning.
What an incredible honor it is to be appointed as your next Vice President and Director of Athletics at Georgia Tech. I want to thank President Cabrera, the Georgia Tech Athletic Association Board, and the search committee for the trust you've placed in me. The search process was thoughtful and transparent. It quickly became clear to me that through our discussions, that Georgia Tech was not simply looking for somebody to manage the athletics department, but rather a leader to help transform and help shape something special. And that's exactly what I'm here to do. Before I get into my notes, I do also want to recognize my family, my wife Rebecca, and 2 girls, Mary, Margaret, and Annie. Rebecca, thank you for your unwavering support, your strength, and your belief in this journey. I couldn't do it without you. Mary, Margaret, and the girls, Annie, thank you for being quiet, and I love you, and for your patience. Today's a big day for all of us. It means the world to have my family here with me. I also want to take a moment and recognize my parents are here and my siblings, Jeff and Benet, and again, my siblings. So you guys are an incredible part of my life and help build me to who I am. My colleagues and mentors who have poured wisdom, experience, candor into me over the years. Your support and guidance and encouragement have been consistent, and I wouldn't be sitting here if it wasn't for you. You believed in me long before moments like this seemed possible, and for that, I'm deeply grateful. In particular, Dr. Cabrera mentioned Danny. Danny's been a great friend and mentor. He helped show me the way, and all of my colleagues here. I'm more grateful for the lessons I learned from you over these years, but thank you for giving me the opportunity to grow and to learn and to be a part of a team that succeeded at the highest level. The experience and relationships and lessons I carry with me from my time at UT have prepared me for this next chapter. And I want to show a debt of gratitude to Jay Batt, his leadership during his time here on the Flats and the foundation he helped establish. His efforts have positioned Georgia Tech athletics for what comes next. And I'm grateful to have the opportunity to build and progress with our team. From my first conversations with Georgia Tech, it was clear. This school, this city is the right fit for me and my family. In many ways, it really feels like I'm coming home. I grew up surrounded by talented academics in my house from my grandfather and my father, people who believe deeply in the power of education and how it can shape lives and communities. That shaped who I am and how I lead, and exactly why Georgia Tech feels like home. This is a world-class academic institute with proud athletics tradition and a passionate and loyal fan base and a culture rooted in integrity, innovation, and excellence. It's also an institution that's fully aligned, beginning at the top with President Cabrera in its commitment to having championship-level athletics. That combination is rare, trust me, and it's exactly why I'm excited for this opportunity. I've had the privilege of working at some remarkable places with tremendous people, but it's become clear to me there's only one Georgia Tech. As I've experienced what works in this ever-changing landscape of college athletics, I keep coming back to 5 core principles: competitiveness, alignment, investment, culture, and integrity. Those are the cornerstones of lasting success, and they will guide our path forward. I want to give you a brief overview of those core principles, but why we're here, and most importantly, and I saw a few student athletes as I came in, thank you for being here, and for those that were not able to make it, I'm here for you. You are the heart of this department. We will fight for you, and we will support you. So to go through quickly our 5 cornerstones. First, we will be relentlessly competitive. Our goal is clear: to compete for championships. At Georgia Tech, we're setting a new standard. That means recruiting and developing elite student athletes who come here to win, hiring and retaining top-tier coaches, and fostering a culture where excellence is the expectation. And we will pursue that standard every single day. We will measure ourselves against the very best in the nation. This is Atlanta. This is Georgia Tech. We have a brand. We have a city. We have world-class academics, institutional alignment, everything it takes to be elite. Second, we're aligned with our academic mission and with our university leadership. At Georgia Tech, excellence in the classroom is a non-negotiable. It's in our DNA. Our student athletes will leave here not just as champions on the fields and courts of play, but as engineers, scientists, business leaders, and global citizens. And we will align with President Cabrera, our senior leadership, and our board to do our part to elevate the university and athletics. Third, we will invest strategically. Success does not happen by accident. It requires resources, intentionality, and the courage to invest in what matters. If we want Georgia Tech to compete at the highest level, we must match our ambition with action. That starts with growing our brand and making sure our stories are well known, not just in Atlanta, but across the nation. We will deepen our engagement with our alumni, our donors, our community, our supporters, all of those who believe in what Georgia Tech represents. Revenue generation will be critical, and it will be a #1 priority, not just as a financial necessity, but as a strategic driver of excellence. We will pursue bold investments in our programs, our facilities, and our people. We will ensure that our student athletes have everything they need to succeed. With the right resources and a strategic investment strategy, there's nothing we cannot achieve together. Fourth, we will prioritize our people, from student athletes to staff to coaches to campus partners. We are nothing without our people. A lot of organizations talk about being a family. Our actions and words will reveal it. And I will be visible, I will be accessible, and I will listen. We will create a culture where people want to win, have an opportunity to grow, and want to stay. And finally, we will lead with integrity. Our decisions will reflect our values. We will be transparent, accountable, and mission-driven. We will not take shortcuts, and we will not stray from that mission. We will be a department that the entire Georgia Tech community will be proud of. Let me be honest. All I'm saying here, this is not going to be easy. We are going to raise the expectations. We're going to push the boundaries. We are going to challenge the status quo. But when we do that, and we will, the results will be remarkable. To our athletes, student athletes, to our faculty, to our staff, to our alumni, to our community, to our donors, our fans, Georgia Tech deserves to win, and win big. We need all of your energy. We need your belief. We need your investment. We can do this together. I'm ready. My family's ready. Let's write the next chapter in Georgia Tech athletics. Thank you, and go Jackets.
All right, we'll go ahead and open up for questions from the media for Dr. Cabrera and for Ryan. Please raise your hand, make sure you got a microphone so your question can be heard. Also, please introduce yourself and the outlet that you represent so Ryan can start putting names with faces. So we'll go ahead and start right here with Kelly.
Kelly Quinlan, Jackets Online on 3 Rivals. Ryan, I was just curious, this is a unique time in college sports, the most unique time of recent memory. Kind of what goes into your thoughts about how to approach that, positioning Georgia Tech for whatever the future may look like in 3, 5, 10 years of college athletics?
Well, I think it starts, Dr. Cabrera's, has an integral role at the league level. I think we have to monitor. I think in my experience at Tennessee, we had a seat at the table of all the conversations of what was happening nationally. So I think I've got a great understanding of where the landscape sits today. But part of, as we look downfield, it's not just how we're running our operations day to day here, but being connected through my network, through the league, through Dr. Cabrera and his colleagues, monitoring everything that's going on, consuming a bunch of information, but then ultimately putting Georgia Tech in a position to succeed in what the world looks like next year, 3 years, 5 years, and we'll be positioned. And I think it goes back to the core principle of alignment. We have a goal, an institutional goal. We want to be great. And the things that we can handle, I think you'll hear me talk about this a lot, is we can only control our controllables. So if we win at the highest level and put our teams and our student athletes in position to do that, everything else normally works out.
Rod McKenzie with GoJackets.com on the 247 network. When we attended the press conference for the hire of James Ramsey, it was mentioned that Georgia Tech had been working on the plan for the revenue sharing for about a year. You come in at a time where something may already be in place. Are you going to put your handprint on that and maybe take a look at it and make changes, or are you just going to go along or agree with what they've already decided?
Well, the best part is we're fulfilling all of revenue share, which gives you a competitive advantage. But now we're going into the fall season, so most of that stuff is, those decisions have been made. I'm going to spend my first, 30, 60, 90 days listening, learning, understanding that the foundation that's been established. And so the best part of revenue share is we're fulfilling the full amount and we want to be competitive. But as we get to the next recruiting cycles and begin to have those conversations with our coaches out recruiting 26, 27s, 28s, we'll certainly have an opportunity to put my fingerprint on that moving forward.
Chad from the AJC. Dr. Cabrera, can you speak to the competitive talent pool that you had to sift through to find this next AD and what made Ryan sort of sift to the top?
Well, yes, I want to, first of all, thank the members of the board of the Georgia Tech Athletic Association who participated and supported the search process, as well as student representatives, faculty, and others who were a part of that. What I can tell you, we were overwhelmed by the caliber of the pool and the caliber of the people who were interested in this job. I think this has always been really an incredible program, an incredible job within the whole space of intercollegiate athletics. The history of Georgia Tech athletics is really unmatched. So we were overwhelmed with the talent that we had. It took some work and a lot of intense work in trying to find the right person within that space. But I can tell you that very quickly it was clear that within that pool, Ryan was the best fit for us.
Jackson.
Jackson Caudill, Sports Illustrated. What stood out to you about Georgia Tech during this whole process and made you want to make the move over here?
Well, it starts with alignment. You'll hear that a lot. I think you cannot be successful in college athletics as a part of a greater institute or university, as you evaluate opportunities. And so alignment was first, leadership. We've got unbelievable athletes and a program. Atlanta is a big driver for me. As you look towards, revenue share and where the cap is, and then opportunities to go seek real NIL deals and be able to attract top athletes. I mean, there's never been a time in college sports where revenue growth and winning have been tied together as it is today. And so I think we have a tremendous institute on the academic side. We have a value-based decision-making that comes in, and then the opportunity with our fantastic donor pool and the opportunity to engage the business community. Dr. Cabrera and I last night were at the All-Star game. I mean, in 30 minutes and going to several pregame parties, you meet titans of industry. If we can tap into that, it can be a differentiator for us, and our ability to invest in our success will come through that marketplace.
Any questions in the back from TV personnel? Right back here.
Ryan, Rick Garney from 11 Alive. You mentioned academics, you mentioned the city of Atlanta. Just curious, as far as the state of the athletic programs, at least what you know about them right now, understanding you're new, what is it that you like and what drew you here when you look at the sports programs here?
The success. I believe 14 of our 17 programs were in postseason last year. That tells me that we're competing at the highest level. We're recruiting great student athletes. I've had an opportunity, had a head coaches meeting, have begun to meet with them one-on-one. Coach Key told me, the thing he likes most about his team is the locker room. And what that means to me is we have great culture, and you can't win at any sport, at any level, if you don't have great culture. And so, that's what I saw from afar, but you don't really know until you can get in. And obviously, I'm speaking at a very high level because I still have a lot to learn. As I look through it, not a ton of transfers out. And that shows me people want to be here. They value the degree. They value what the city and the program brings. And that's what I think really attracts our alumni back and investing in college sports and Georgia Tech athletics. So a lot of different pieces, but I think it gets culture. Really excited about the culture we have here.
Allison Mastrangelo with Channel 2 in Atlanta. Nice to meet you. Welcome to Atlanta. I know it's going to take you some time to get adjusted here, but what area do you feel like you can make the biggest impact in this athletic department in your first year here?
Yeah, I mean, I got to think that I lean on my core principles of who I am, and that's a revenue generator. I'm a grow the pie guy. I know there's all sorts of pressures going on in college sports, and so I'm always going to attack a problem with how do we fund it, how do we grow the revenue. So that'll be a lot of my focus. I want to keep culture moving in the right direction internally, both with our coaching staffs, but our staff as well. But I'll focus on what I know best, and that's getting to know our community, getting to know our donors, getting to know our student athletes, but attacking our issues through revenue generation.
Back to the front, Ken.
Hey, Ryan. I'm Ken Seguir with the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. You kind of addressed some of the things I wanted to ask you about. Obviously, Jay did a very good job here raising money, increasing revenue. And you mentioned meeting titans of industry and donors and so forth. Like, where do you feel like there's more juice to squeeze in particular?
Well, I mean, we have some of the best alums of any institute or university in the country. So we've got to, I've got to deepen my relationships with them. I've got to build a vision. So we'll build a strategic plan that talks about everything we want to do on the internal side from a culture, student athlete investments, but then also externally, where, talking about season tickets and growing our sponsorship business, growing every facet of our revenue. And it's important to me, we have very sophisticated people in Atlanta and our donors that we build a plan that they can speak to and have buy-in, and then we'll measure ourselves and hold ourselves accountable to where we go. And so I think, you mentioned it. Jay did a great job. He and we crossed paths early in our career. He was at East Carolina. I was at the University of Memphis. Then he was at Alabama and Tennessee. So, we believe in a lot of the same core principles related to revenue growth. But and I think he started, building something. But now we've got to take it to the next level and continue to improve and invest in our programs.
Any more questions? We have time for a couple more.
Don't forget, Dr. Cabrera is here too.
No, you're doing great. You're doing great. Keep going. Keep going.
Ryan, in terms of building out Georgia Tech's brand and all of those things, I guess kind of what is your approach to how do you manage your people, how you evaluate success, failure, those types of things with coaches? That's going to be sort of a new avenue, I guess, for you, and in terms of being the lead on that. Just how do you approach that?
Yeah, again, I've had great mentors, and Danny brought me into every conversation we had about that. But it starts for me when it comes to coaches of how we invest in their program needs to be, accessible to how we're going to evaluate them. We're always, we bring a blue collar mentality. I'm going to bring that to work every day. We're going to work really hard. Our coaches have heard me say, I expect our staff, myself, our coaches, our student athletes to punch above their weight class. We can achieve a lot here, but at the same time, investment level and evaluation have to have some correlation. And then from a staffing standpoint, accountability. I think that's at the end of the day, as we put our plan together, there's going to be metrics in there, and I'm big on metrics and data and being able to follow them, and ultimately we're going to provide the resources for our coaches to be successful, but our staff to be successful. And then there's a scoreboard for our coaches, and staff. Administration's a little bit different, but there are some scoreboards that we'll be able to track and measure and hold people accountable.
Chad?
Dr. Cabrera, sorry, Ryan told me to ask you one. You said 3 years ago, you were sitting here. How do you make sure 3 years from now you're not sitting here again, and make sure you keep Ryan here for long term?
Honestly, I think the opportunity that any athletic director has at Georgia Tech, the opportunity is unmatched. We have already one pretty major capital project that is halfway. We have a renovation of the stadium. We have several capital projects that are going to be transformative. We're on the brink of doing great things on the field. Honestly, if I were in Ryan's shoes, there are not many opportunities like this where you can make a difference and own that difference and really have that sense of pride that 4 years from now, 5 years from now, you can look back and see, I did that. I helped build that. Honestly, that is the best thing we can offer any ambitious athletics director is a project that they can lead and be incredibly proud of. And we have that in spades.
Ryan, there's been no lack of drama within the ACC over the last few years, including recently settled lawsuits from a couple of internal programs. Look, you've been a part of other big-time programs. You talked about having a seat at the biggest tables where decisions are made. How do you ensure that Georgia Tech and the relationship with the ACC allows that opportunity to have a seat at the biggest table, both in the near term and the long term?
Yeah, I think it comes down to we're proud members of the ACC. Obviously, I wasn't in the league a year or two ago, and all that was going on. But it seems we're in a really stable position. I talked to Jimmy Phillips, after I took the job, and so excited to join that AD's room. I think actually my first AD call started at 10:30, so I missed this one today. But I'm big on controlling who we are, and if we do what we think we can and what we can accomplish, we'll end up and be in the best part of the ACC. And whatever happens in the future, I think if you win at the highest level, that gets recognized. And so, extremely excited to be a part of the ACC. And you're talking to one of the most historic, tradition-rich conferences in the country. And we've got a great pathway to all the postseason championships, so we can accomplish what we want to accomplish here.
We'll wrap up with a couple of
Hey, Dr. Cabrera, I have a two-part question. we're talking about revenue generation and developing more sources of money. I think there's long been this idea that the foundation could help by taking care of the debt service, the athletics debt, like for the foundation, for the facilities. So first, is it, as my understanding is that just the bylaws of the foundation or whatever would prevent you or the athletic department from securing money that could either take care of the debt or absorb it and give off like a restructured, more favorable loan to repay. Is that correct?
Boy, we're getting into some deep stuff here. We have an absolutely fabulous Georgia Tech Foundation, and the number one mission of the foundation is to make sure that they are good stewards of our donors' assets, and they do that. The Georgia Tech Foundation both invests all of the gifts that are in support of the academic mission of the institute, but they also invest the monies that are given for the future of athletics. So the Athletic Association actually relies on the Georgia Tech Foundation to invest. And the Georgia Tech Foundation Board has an extraordinary board that is dedicated to making sure that they deliver returns for both, for the Athletic Association and for the rest of the institute. And they do an incredible job. They every year after year, they're actually producing returns that really outpace what others are doing, and that is the number one mission that the Georgia Tech Foundation has. I think what Ryan says, and which is he's not going to be alone in this, is the Georgia Tech Athletic Association. The goal is the Georgia Tech Athletic Association has found and will continue to find its own path to deal with its challenges and its opportunities.
Okay. So the second part, I guess what you're saying is that that's not a likely outcome of the foundation reaching in and stepping in with
the Georgia Tech Foundation plays already a pretty big role. They have played a big role, and they will continue to play a big role. Yeah.
Okay. I think we're going to wrap up. I think we have one more question. Do we have a question? Would you like to ask something? See me raise your hand?
Say hello.
I think we got scared.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess not. So we'll go ahead and wrap up. Thanks everybody for being here.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.